Humboldt is a great place to come and put down roots. There's no shortage of activities from youth to arts to sports. It's a great place with lots of activities always happening.
People have a long history and tradition here of really supporting the community, really being involved in the community.
With the increase in population, we needed to have some kind of a plan that embraced Humboldt as it was, because there's lots of good things about Humboldt, but also something that took us into the future.
There was a large amount of consultation, both with residents along with business and industry partners. We had segments of the community such as seniors and youth.
We gave our residents a task of trying to spend $500 and determine where those dollars were going to be spent based on their priorities.
Well, we certainly talked about infrastructure, roads, sidewalk, water and sewer systems, but people really moved beyond that rather quickly. As important as that was, people began talking about the quality of life. People began talking about recreation and cultural programs, services, facilities. People talked about safety. People talked about how Humboldt could be a more welcoming community.
The Our Humboldt Strategic Framework is a plan that Humboldt has put in place to help deal with the growth and development that's been happening in the community.
It's not just a document that fulfills government regulations or responsibilities. It actually reflects those values and strategies which have been set by the community.
The Our Humboldt Framework has 7 values that are incorporated throughout it: active, welcoming, connected, sustainable, green, creative, and prosperous.
Our consultant was challenged by the fact that we said we don't want this official community plan to look like any other community plan.
Priority-based budgeting is the process through which we can ensure that the priorities and the values of the Our Humboldt Strategic Framework have the appropriate resources to be implemented. If we decide that a multi-use facility is of a priority to the community, priority-based budgeting will look at how it compares to other priority projects. Infrastructure spending comes to mind, and then helps us allocate funds in an appropriate way to make sure that project can move forward over an appropriate span of time.
We provide, as a small city, over 220 different services, which is a large bill for an operation that probably has just under 100 people between full-time and part-time staff.
I think the community has really embraced this initiative. Simply because they were engaged right from the very beginning.
I think we've really latched on to something that resonates in the community, something that really brings the other community groups and organizations into the process. So it's not just about City Council's work, it's really about the community's work.
It flipped a traditional outcomes-based approach into one that really looked at what residents enjoyed and wanted to retain about their community, what we could build on for the future, but also recognizing that there were gaps and how to address those gaps in the best way possible moving forward.
This strategic plan is one that is a working, living document. It's not one that's in a binder on the shelf at City Hall.
The City Council doesn't create community spirit and a sense of place and a sense of pride by itself. We rely on all the community groups and organizations to work with us.
And to the citizens of Humboldt, thanks for your input. It was greatly appreciated, and it's forming the future for our city.